Let's go to Andrea Crothers, who's in Hobart for us. Andrea, the Greens leader, has just cast her vote.
She certainly has. And Cassie OConnor, she joins me now. Cassie, you came into this fight with 2 seats. How many are you hoping to have on the other side?
Well, we're hoping for a good result. Obviously, we want to see more Greens in the Tasmanian Parliament. The vibe of this election towards the Greens has been positive, and we've run a great campaign. So I know we'll get a swing to us. I just don't know what that will look like. And it's all in the hands of the Tasmanian people in their wisdom.
You say the vibe's been positive. That might be from voters, but certainly from the major parties. They don't want anything to do with you, especially if they end up needing the numbers to form a minority government. How does that make you feel? Is that sort of, I guess, not going with the will of the voters? Should they go that way?
Well, we hear this at every single Tasmanian state election campaign as long as I can remember, where you've got the major parties basically threatening Tasmanian voters that if you don't give us everything, if you don't give us majority, we'll take our bat and ball and go home. It's the Tasmanian people who decides who forms the next government, and if no party has a majority, we've all got a responsibility to get in there and make it work.
Let's look around the ground. In your seat here of Clark, it's going to be really one to watch. The independents, some very strong names there. How are you feeling about how they may do and if they'll pull away from the Greens vote?
Well, I think they'll pull away from everyone's vote. There's a real desire, I think, in the electorate now to move away from the Liberal and Labor parties particularly, because people feel unheard, let down by them. We know that the independents are going to shave a bit off our vote. We don't know what that looks like yet, and we've been saying to people, look, if you want Greens in Parliament, if you want us to stand up for this beautiful island and its people, you need to vote for us, and every number one vote counts. So, Andrea, we will see.
And heading north quickly to Bass, hoping to recover more ground there. What are you thinking you'll be able to do?
We have got a fantastic candidate in Bass and a great team around him in Jack Davenport, and we know that we're a good chance for a seat on the polling and on the feeling. So what we would like to do is hold the Liberals off from getting 4 seats in Bass and make sure that that fantastic electorate has a Green representative again in the Tasmanian Parliament. But I'm quietly hopeful about Bass, actually, yeah.
Now, finally, Cassie OConnor, I hear you haven't been as good a vegetarian as you normally would be during this election campaign. The sausages do smell good. Shall we see you there in a second?
Yeah, I reckon. Just in the interest of disclosure, I usually don't eat much meat, and that's a climate decision, but also ethical. Just at the start of this campaign, though, I really felt like I needed a little bit more protein, so I have become slightly more carnivorous. But tomorrow I'll be back to my old ways. I think I'll have a democracy sausage in the meantime, though. Yeah.
Good. I've already had one this morning. Cassie OConnor, thank you very much for your time. All the best. We will no doubt be chatting to you this evening. So the clash for Clark, it really is one to watch at the moment as it stands. The Liberals, they did lose Sue Hickey. She turned independent. So they then won another independent, Madeline Ogilvie, over. So they've got 2 seats. The Greens won with Cassie OConnor. Labor won, Independent won. Just how the voters go, well, this is what they had to say on the ground this morning. Who do you think's going to win today?
No idea. It's like gambling.
Are you very good at it?
No.
Who'll win tonight?
I think it'll be very close. I think it's probably going to be a hung parliament.
And how do you feel about that?
I haven't got a problem with that. I think the majority government sort of thing, as expressed by the major parties, is something we need to move beyond.
Who do you think will come out on top?
Sadly, I think it'll be the Libs.
Who would you rather?
A Green Labor majority. That would be my preference. But I think that I think people like stability rather than progression.
Labor said they won't work with the Greens. Do you believe that?
I hope it's not true.
So the clash for Clark, it really could make or break a leadership when it comes to this election. Also one to watch in the southern area will be the seat of Franklin. So the Liberals, they'll be closely watching to see just what impact it will have with the loss of former Premier Will Hodgman, who resigned mid-term. He had enormous personal pulling power. It's something that Labor we're hoping to capitalise on with Kingston Mayor Dean Winter, although he was the star candidate who almost wasn't a candidate at all. Really sort of those early election days marred by lots of political infighting, Gab.
Andrea, thank you. Enjoy that democracy sausage.